One of the most simple day trading strategies that you can use and learn as a very beginning stage trader is the opening range break. It's by far the most simple strategy out there, and it actually has a pretty high win rate. To touch on two quick things, I say it has a pretty high win rate, but just remember one, you don't have to take a trade every single day. That shouldn't be your goal. And two, you don't even have to win every trade if your risk to reward is set right. So, as an example, in October, I took 11 trades. There were roughly 20 days available for trading. But on days that I trade, my opening range break strategy doesn't always present itself. And on days that my strategy doesn't present itself, I just simply don't trade. And on the days I do take a trade, I always target a 1 to 2, sometimes a 1 to 3 risk to reward, which means if I'm risking $500 and I have a successful trade, I'm making 1,000. Worst case, I lose the trade and I lose $500. So I can go 6 for 5 like I did in October and still make around $3,500 when I cash everything out. That's a really good full time take home income for most people in the United States. I'm not out here telling you I made $150,000 in 1 week or one trade. I made $3,500 in October. That's a great month of day trading. I also don't day trade full time because with the opening range break strategy, it takes about 3 hours in the morning. That's it. It doesn't take your whole day. You're not working a full time job. I look at the charts every morning for 3 to 4 hours. So in the whole month of October, I probably spent 40 hours looking at charts collectively the whole month and made $3,500. That's a pretty good trade off. So before I hop into the charts, I've been going live lately and people in my chat have been calling me the anti-guru. And the reason for that is because I'm not flexing a Lamborghini, not that I could afford one anyways. I'm not trying to flex from a high-rise condo. I'm a family man. I don't need a high-rise condo in Miami. And I'm not hiding any of my information behind a paywall. If you want to learn, you don't have to pay me for my time. You don't have to pay me for access to a course. Everything I do is free, and all the information I provide is free. The best thing I could ask from you guys, if you want to support me, is like the channel, leave a comment, like the video, and share it with anybody who you may think finds this helpful. Now, let's hop over to the charts so I can break down two different options of the opening range break. So here's how the opening range break works. I am in TradingView, I am on ES, and I am on the 5-minute time frame. This is the first candle closure right here at 9:30. Is what you want to do is grab your rectangle tool and you want to mark the whole entire thing, the wick and the body. So bottom wick to top wick. This right here, as you would assume, is our opening range high and our opening range low. I've marked these here so you can see them. And here's what we're waiting for now. We're going to wait for this to break above or below the zone. But now that we have our 5-minute marked out, we want to actually drop our time frame down. So we're going to go to the 1 minute because we want to be able to see on the 1 minute chart, there's going to be 5 little transactions that are made up of this one 5-minute candle. And we want to start to see all this micro movement to catch our entry at the earliest possible moment. So now you can see there's more movement here and we're waiting. Are we going to break above or below? We kind of ticked the top right there, but then it immediately came back down. So you want to wait for a full candle to close outside of this range. So as you can see here, this is breaking down below. Now, there are multiple ways that you can actually do the opening range break. It just depends on how you want to do it. This is not my strategy, but this is one way that people do it. They wait immediately for it to break out, and then as soon as the next candle body closes, as long as it's below that range, they're making their entry right there. So for this example, let's go ahead and set it. We'll click the short position. Let's say we went in right here on this. They will drag their stop loss to the top of the zone in case this completely rebounds, and they will target a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk to reward. I target a 1 to 2, so let's follow that. Your stop loss is at 1450, so you want to drag this to 29. You want to get your 1 to 2 risk to reward. If I'm risking $500, I want to make 1,000. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out. We get the 5-minute range marked. We wait for a breakout. It's right here. We have this one that is the candle closure outside of the range, and we made our entry. Let's drag this over just in case it runs a little longer, and we'll see what the market does. We're waiting. We pop back into the zone. It's going to chop around, And we're back below. And as you can see, we made our entry right here at 9:42, and at 10:02, exactly 20 minutes later, we hit our take profit and would have had a 1-to-2 risk to reward. So whether you were 100 or 200 or whatever, 500, you would have made 1,000. 200, you would have made 400. This is your risk to reward that you need to target for a stop loss, and this a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3. This would enable you on months like October for me, where I took 11 trades, 6 of them won, 5 of them lost. But every time I target a 1-to-2 risk to reward, which is how at the end of the month I was able to cash out around $3,500. Now, let's stay on this exact same time frame, exact same chart, so I can show you what I look for. I would have kept the same 5-minute mark. You can stay on the 5-minute if you want to. Every once in a while I will, but sometimes I drop down to the 1 minute because I like seeing the micro movement here. I turn on this indicator by Lux Algo called the fair value gap. And as I wait for a break outside of the zone, it happened here. I would not have entered here because I am looking for what these are called fair value gaps. Is what fair value gaps are means that the candles move so fast that the other side of whichever direction it's moving can't reclaim it, which technically would mean there's a liquidity zone here. So sellers are in such strong control right here after it breaks the zone, retouches. The retouch isn't a requirement, but the fair value gap is a requirement, and it has to be outside of the zone. So these would have not been eligible for what I was doing here. 5-minute marked, chopped, breaks, comes back in, that's fine. It comes back down, still disqualified because it's in the zone. Then boom, right here, a fair value gap has presented itself. But in order for this to happen, this candle needs to close, because a fair value gap is the bottom wick is touching a body of a candle next to it, and the top wick is touching the body of a candle next to it if you were to draw a line. That means the gap between this wick at the top and this wick at the bottom leaves a fair value gap. This candle jumps so big, buyers weren't able to reclaim any of that zone. So this would have closed. I would have entered right here. I would have targeted the bottom of the zone. I could go higher at the top of the zone, but I'm only risking $500. So I don't want to stretch this up too high, because depending on the points, the cost, everything, I could be leveraging and risking more than that if I want it to be the top. Just because you want it to be here doesn't mean this costs $500. This could cost $1,000, but based on where the price is to what you want your stop loss to be, that will determine what your risk is. So I set mine to the bottom of the zone. In this scenario, that's 10.5 points, which means I want to get at least 20, let's say 22. You can see in this, the exact same way this played out, I just would have entered the trade a little bit later. This is at 9:52 right here that I would have entered, and by 10:02, 10 minutes later, I would have already doubled my risk to reward scenario here. Now, on days like this, if you wanted to, I would not recommend a re-entry based on what's happening. But if the day feels like, hey, this is going to continue, and you even wanted to target a 1-to-3, you could come down to 33 points, which would be a 1-to-3, risk 500 to make 1,500, and then let it play out and see what happens. So you can see here on a 1-to-3, we would have entered in this exact same trade we were just talking about at 9:52. And then over here at 10:37, less than an hour, you would have actually had a 1-to-3. But there's a point for me where I just don't let greed take in. I'd love to make a 1-to-3 all the time, but I then would have had to sit through watching all of this. And then right about here, I would have been like, I'm an idiot. I made an absolutely awful trade. I'm going to lose all my money, and I'm going to shut down for the day. Would have been very upset, but it would have corrected, and I just wouldn't have wanted to wait that long. I wouldn't have wanted to sit through all this chop and see my numbers ticking back up when I knew I was up $1,000. So you could target anything you want, whatever your strategy is going to be, stick to it. I would have done a 1-to-2, which would have been up here. I would have been done in 10 minutes. I would have turned $500 into 1,000. I would have been willing to lose 500, but I would have made 1,000. So that's how I play mine. It's just what I personally do. So that right there is if you're a beginner to trading, or if you just have a strategy that hasn't been working, that's a very simple one. You're only looking for two things. You're looking for, on my strategy, a break below the opening range after you've marked it out, and then a fair value gap to present itself. That's it. You can even run an indicator within TradingView that tells you where the fair value gaps are. You don't even have to map them out yourself. It'll do it for you. Download that indicator by Lux Algo, fair value gap. It's very simple. The other one is even easier. Mark out your range, wait for a breakout, make your entry. Some days you win, some days you lose, but if you have the right risk to reward, you're going to be profitable at the end of the month. And also, just remember this, guys. Day trading is open and available 5 days a week. That doesn't mean you have to trade 5 days a week. I took 11 trades in October because the trades that I do didn't present themselves every day. But more than 50% of the time, if there's on average 20 trading days a month, I traded 11. That's 2, 3 days a week. You don't need to have a completely 100% win rate strategy to make money. You just need the right risk to reward. And the days you win, you need to at least double your money. And the days you lose, you need to not revenge trade. If you can keep those two things, the patience and the ability to control all of those feelings, you're going to be a profitable trader. Now, again, are there traders out there that make $100,000 a month? Absolutely. Are there traders like me who make $3,500 a month and they're fine with it? Absolutely. You don't always have to hit home runs. Every once in a while, I'll hit a trade where I can be up 4,000, but then I lose the next three trades and I'm down 1,500 bucks to land at 2,500. And I don't lose any sleep over it because I know my strategy is consistent. Once you find a consistent strategy, stick to it. Give it 30 days, give it 60, give it 90 days. If you need to revise it, then revise it. No one's telling you if this is your strategy, you can't change it. Make it your own. That's what I do. Is it the most profitable? Maybe not, but does it work for me? It absolutely does.